Okay, welcome America. Welcome Taylor Swift to, we are going to use the Base Angles Theorem and work on one problem. So, it's asking what's the value of x, find the measure of all three angles. Oh, hello.
He's good.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so where are we at? We just learned that we're told in this diagram we've got an isosceles triangle. These sides are the same length, which tells us that these base angles are the same. How do we say things are the same in an equation? They are congruent, yep. And then back from like unit 1, when we were writing equations from diagrams, how do we write an equation? How are we gonna write an equation from this diagram to say that they're the same? What do you think?
You do 5x plus 5 equals 7x minus 13.
Excellent. 5x plus 5 equals 7x minus 13. So let's quickly solve it. You guys do it too. Check my work, because I do make mistakes. I know America can't see what I'm writing now because I'm standing in front of it. I'm trying to be quick. I'm getting x is 9.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. So we just solved that really quickly. I got the value of x is 9. Well, let's figure out what the measure of each of these angles are. If I take this 9 and I plug it in right here, 5 times 9 plus 5, that's 45 plus 5. I'm getting 50 degrees for the measure of this angle.
Yeah.
Okay. Since the measure of this angle is the same as the measure of this angle, if I were to plug in the 9 here, I'd still get 50 degrees. I don't need to go through it again. We also know that this angle is 50 degrees. Are you with me? They're the same. How are we going to figure out the measure of this angle, the measure of angle C? The triangle sum always adds up to 180 degrees. That's the triangle sum theorem. So if the base angles are 50 degrees, 50 degrees, 50 degrees, what's the measure of angle C? Done. That was a tough problem. Any questions? Any questions on how to solve for x, how to plot? I mean, there's a lot going on in this problem. We had to use the base angles theorem to even know that these base angles were the same. Then we had to set them equal to each other, solve for x. We had to plug the x back in, know that these values are the same, and then use the triangle sum theorem to figure out the missing angle, right?
What if what if they don't equal the same? Would you just if one has one line, one of the sides has one line, the other has 2 lines? Would you just do 5x plus 5?
It depends on the problem, because I mean, what you're describing, it sounds like you probably wouldn't have enough information to do it, but they'll always, let me show you. Every problem is different. This one right here, there is so much going on in this problem, right? So we've got these base angles are the same, which tells us the measure of these sides are the same. And then all these 3 angles are the same. That means that all these sides are the same. So if this is 26, this has to be 26, which makes all these 26, which makes this equal to 26. You kind of just have to work through, every problem is a little different. Now we can solve for y, because 5y plus 1 is 26. Minus 1, 5y is 25. I'm getting the value of y is 5. Awesome, now we have to solve for x. Well, now, and there might be different ways to do this problem, but what I see is this is the triangle, and what Riley just said is the sum of all the interior angles of any triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. These are all 3, they're the same. And they all have to add up to 180. So if they're all the same, and they have to add up to 180, how much does each of them have to be? 60. So each is 60. 60, 60. Now, there's a lot going on in this problem. This is a straight line, which makes these 2 angles add up to 180. So 8x plus 60 adds up to 180. So that means 8x is that 120? Divide by 8, divide by 8. X equals 8 goes into 12 once, 4, 8 goes into 40, 5. I'm getting a value of x is 15. So I guess what I'm trying to show you is this problem, there's also a lot going on in this problem. We had to know that the base angles being the same told us that the opposite sides are the same, which tells us the measures of all these angles, which then means we can set 5y plus 1 equal to 26 and solve for y. We also know that each of these are 60 degrees. We use these angles here are supplementary, 60 and 8x, which means they together add up to 180. And then we can solve for x. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. So every problem is different. Yay, geometry. Thanks for coming out.